What's going on, Peak Church? So in case you were not in worship this past Sunday, we have a very, very important announcement for you. So as you know, we've been talking about this in worship for the last several months, that we've been growing as a church, particularly in our children's ministry rooms. And so our leadership team has been gathering every single month and having some conversations about what is our strategic and faithful growth plan here at our church. And so just so you know, if you're relatively new here to our church, it is not any one person who makes decisions. It's not a room full of people who make decisions, but it's the mission that makes the decisions around here. And the mission of our church, if you don't know it, is this, that we feel called to be a church that gathers all folks who are feeling disconnected so they can encounter a compassionate God, grow in faith, and we together can transform our communities. And so one of the things that we've been asking all the time is, with all of this recent growth, and particularly a good problem in our children's ministry rooms. Check this out. In our children's ministry rooms, we have seen ever since last fall, we've been at or above capacity in those rooms for 70% of the Sundays ever since last fall. And so those of you who volunteer, you already know this because you've been trying to wrangle those little stinkers. And those of you who are parents, you also know this, that sometimes it's not also conducive to safety. It's not conducive to a welcoming environment for kids. I've got one kid who would love that environment. I got another kid at home who would be like, please take me home. This is chaos. And so, given all those realities, here's been our goal. Our goal is to do these three things. Number one, be faithful to our mission of welcoming people who are feeling disconnected, welcoming people who are looking for a church like ours. Number two, we want to be faithful. We want to be mindful to our volunteers and staff, the people who pull this thing off each and every week. And then thirdly, we want to be thinking about y'all, thinking about you and your needs when it comes to your family and what you can pull off on Sunday mornings. And so all of that brings us to this, our plan. So starting this fall, not today, not this spring, not next week, but starting this fall on October 1st, we're going to move to 3 worship services here at the Peak. You can see those times listed on your screen: 8:45, 8:30, 9:45, and 11:15. Now, here's what's really, really important about those service times. If you look on your screen now, you'll see there's some really important details that you need to know. The 8:30 service actually is going to be shorter in duration. It's going to run 45 minutes. And what's going to be applicable to all 3 services, they're going to start on time. And so if it starts at 8:30, that means you're going to be out by 9:15. And we're hoping that what this is conducive for is young families who also have felt this pull on Sundays of like, oh, sometimes I got to decide between church or sports or social activities. Now you can do both because you can go to church early and then get to those activities that you had planned later that morning or later that afternoon. The later 2 services at 9:45 and 11:15, those will run 60 minutes, not 70. So that has been a consistent source of feedback that sometimes is a little bit tough, the service times that we run. And so by starting on time and running it at 60 minutes, this is actually really, really important. Those of you who are like, oh my gosh, I come to 11:15 feels way too late. Fear not. Because right now, because our service time starts at 11, but we start 5 minutes late and we run 70 minutes, you're getting out at 12:15 right now. And so starting this fall by running 60 minutes and starting at 11:15, you're getting out at the same exact time as you are right now. And so really, really important information for you to know. And here's where we need your help. Listen, one of the things that's different about church than Disney World is that when you come to church, our job is not to try to make everyone happy. It's not to meet everyone's preferences. It's to be on mission with Jesus. It's to follow God and doing this work that God has called us to do that we outlined in our mission. And so here's how you can help. And I want to encourage you, I want to challenge you this spring to start prayerfully considering how you're going to help our church make this really important step this fall. So if you go to this link on your screen, thepeakchurch.org/third service, you can do one of 2 things, or you can do both. If you want extra brownie points, you can do both. You can help us by signing up to launch the 8:30 service. You can say, I'm going to make that commitment that I'm going to be one of those families starting in the fall. Or you can start volunteering on Sunday mornings. We've said this a bunch of times. It takes 30 to 40 people to pull off a Sunday morning. And by the way, that survey that we took found that less than 50% of folks who actively worship here also serve on Sunday morning. And so that's one of our values. One of our values is we say, hey, one of the biggest differences about, church over and against other social clubs and activities and theme parks is that when you come here, yes, we want you to consume. Yes, we want you to be benefited. Yes, we want you to be fed. But you got to consume and contribute in order for us to truly be a healthy faithful, thriving church that's making a difference in the world. And so if you missed this, first 25 families who help us do this, who live into this value, first 25 families who help us sign up to launch the 8:30 service will receive this sweet, personalized, custom Peak tumbler that you can bring all your beverages in. And especially for you 8:30ers, you can be filling with espresso coffee. All right? Friends, thank you so much for tuning into this message. We are really excited about this move as our church, and we're just really pumped for all the ways in which God's going to use this growth to welcome in new people who are looking for a church family, looking for a place to re-engage their faith, looking for a place that aligns, looking for a faith and a view of God that aligns with how they see and understand the world. And so, God, friends, we're going to help. We're going to be a part of this mission together. And so I look forward to doing this, making this step together this fall.